Alright, so I'm gonna start reading over these on my own.
Yeah. Just honestly read out the skill and kind of what it does in each category, and I can see if I can give you an opinion on it.
So the gunner, they nerfed it. It was 20% gun traverse, now it's 15. I think the gun traverse could be good for like those the DDs that have the bigger guns where they take longer to reload.
Yeah,
and also the worst turn. Like a lot of the Japanese have really bad traverse.
Gunner would probably be primarily useful on French DDs.
Now,
would be the big one.
Yeah. The Liquidator used to be Torpedo Man. Oh, I see why they took this off the name. Torpedo Man. That's probably why they took it off. It's just Liquidator now. Chances of causing floods increase by 30%. That's pretty big. So bonus to chance of causing a flood from the skill is a multiplication. For example, base chance of torpedo causing is 120. With the skill master, this chance will be 120 plus 120 times 0.3, which equals 156%.
I think this skill might be relevant on something like Pan-European DDs or those DDs that have really big issues when it comes to flooding. I don't think it's really that great.
I don't think you need loader. The reloads of DDs are so fast.
No, yeah, that's pointless.
Alarming, that's not needed.
Alarming is basically incoming fire alert.
Yeah,
that is actually very strong on gunboats, and is very strong on DDs in general.
So maintenance specialist reduces the risk of main turrets. Yeah, you're kind of
maintenance specialist, and it improves your turret survivability.
Mm-hmm. We kind of need that.
That is really strong and really important on DDs.
Pyrotechnics, those are going to be good for the... There's no downside for using it. There's no negatives here. You just get a plus HE. There's no taking away your...
It's not bad. It's just, I wouldn't say it's like as strong as Demolition Expert used to be, but it's not bad.
It's not bad. You think about how many shells you lob at somebody.
That adds up over time.
Yep. So the pyrotechnic is good for any gunboat. If it's a torpedo boat, then it's not really necessary. It's a waste, really.
I guess the second one, now I'm out of this game, is
Torpedo Armament Engineer.
Torpedo speed plus 7%, I think, because they changed
it. It's plus 5, and then the enhanced is plus 7.
Okay, I don't know what this enhanced system means.
Enhanced means these special captains.
Torpedo speed plus 5% is pretty nice, because this is like the old torpedo acceleration. There's Consumables Expert. Again, this is one of those where it depends on the ship.
I think this would be I think this would be good for the Smallland.
Smallland is really good for this. I would say any DD with radar, it's a big deal. And any DD that like a French DD or like a Russian DD, where you're heavy dependent on that engine boost as a means of helping you avoid shells, this would be very helpful for that. Armor piercing destroyer, this really isn't that good.
No.
Your damage is like AP shells, like you're thinking like DD caliber armor piercing shells. Sure, they do more damage than the HE shells, but you're not really going to be using AP outside of really close range engagements. Okay, so I guess moving on to that, you have Argicide, which this is, if anybody knows priority target, this is the same thing as priority target, and I guess this is my opinion on like playing DD at a good level. Any DD player, regardless of whatever DD it is, whatever style you play, you need to have one of either alarming, which is incoming fire alert, or Argicide, which is priority target. You need to have one of those two. I guess the next skill on here is propulsive, which is when the engine or steering gears are incapacitated. This is last stand.
You have to get that. This is
just last stand.
Last stand's a must go for DDs. You have to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, propulsive, definitely a must grab. You have to have that on a DD. It has to be there. Top tier pick for tier 2. You have to get that. So number 3, we have main battery and AA specialist. Main battery reload time reduced by 5%. Continuous AA damage plus 10%. I feel like this would be super freaking good on the small end, dude. I feel like this would be super strong. And like something like a Friesland where both of their AAs are already good.
The big thing that you're going for
is that 5% main battery
is that
reload.
5% main battery
because
reload.
if you do the AR as well, you can get this down to a second reload.
Compared to the current skill, which is basic firing training, main battery and AA specialist is a nerfed version of that, so it's a bit worse.
Yeah, it is.
Torpedo Ornament specialist. This is really good for any stealthy torpedo-oriented DDs. It's pretty straightforward.
Holland, Shima.
Makes a big difference for a lot of ships that, for like really Shima gearing Holland. And what else am I thinking of at tier 10? That would be normal torpedo spec. Okay, Adrenaline Rush, still very, very, very strong. The scariest thing in the world is a Shimakaze on 5 HP that will never be spotted for the rest of the game. Ideally, nobody ever wants to fully max out Adrenaline Rush because, just a quick hint, if you lose 100% of your HP, your main battery reload goes to 0 because you will never be using that main battery ever again.
I didn't know that.
Threshing is unique to the DD individual DD. In certain circumstances and competitive, it has some applications. For general use, you're probably going to see it more on the IJN gunboat line, which is going to be your Akazukis, Kitakazes, Harugumas. Those are the ships that get the real big benefit out of threshing. Outside of that, I don't really see a strong argument for it unless you are doing something like a very heavy farm-oriented build in like mid to low tier, but I would not recommend that for most people. So again, I think you stick to that with the IJN gunboats being the big ones.
Yeah.
Provident is superintendent, but renamed for maximum confusion. This is +1 for consumables. This is usually very, very good. Just be smart about what you're putting Provident on, because it can be really, really good when you are taking a lot of damage or something, need that extra heal, or you want that extra smoke screen for a really long game, but just be aware that you might not always see the benefit, because Provident's dependent on the game going for quite some time. Enduring is survivability expert, but renamed because we love confusion. Take this skill if you're playing DD. I am probably one of the top torpedo and gunboat DD players in North America, and I would never go out of port without this skill on my DD. It'll save you from, in a DD engagement, it'll give you that little bit of extra HP to win. It gives you more to work with. It's
not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of DDs
mandatory.
are gonna mess this up and not pick that.
I guess that means we go into the 4-point skills.
It's the new skills. We're talking about the new captain skills.
So we get into this main battery and AA expert, where I think you were mentioning earlier that we weren't able to.
Yeah, I thought
taking
they
AFT
were.
away.
Yeah, I thought they were, but nope.
This one is going to be, again, dependent on what kind of ship you're playing. Torpedo boats, I don't really think this is going to help you that much.
No.
If you're playing more gunboat-oriented ships, Khabarovsk, Kleber, Marceau, less so Kleber since it has pretty good range by default. But
I think this would be good with the small end.
Small end is pretty good for it. Friesland is very good for it. You want it on Friesland. This skill is going to be really, really nice to have. That extra range gives you a lot of flexibility that you wouldn't otherwise have. I guess cautious, since you were bringing it up.
Not gonna lie, dude. I think this would be good for one particular ship. The yellow.
Paulo Emilio.
The yellow, bro.
Yeah, I can see that.
Smoke rush, dude. Extra 8% speed, dude.
Yeah.
That ship would be going. That would be the fastest ship in the game again.
All right. I guess you have intelligence radio technician going in the spirit of
RPF.
renaming things. That's radio positioning finder, and then shows the direction of the nearest enemy ship. This is going to be pretty good for certain builds where you are playing either DD hunters or torpedo DDs, and you have the extra 4 points. It is a lot of really good information if you know how to use it properly.
Requiem.
It can be really, really helpful to let you know where something that you're not seeing is coming from. Mm-hmm. Or if you're trying to outspot something, this is really perfect to get some information on where you need to be set up to spot the opposing DD or the opposing ship. Fearless. This is going to kill a lot of people. It reduces the reload time of the main battery guns when the ship gets spotted. So here's something to think about when you're looking at the skill. This is for open water gunboats. If you're not planning on going in open water and shooting your guns, this skill is a nerf. This skill is worthless because it increases your detectability. Concealment Expert. This is pretty much one of those, it's like kind of like that case of survivability expert / enduring. On most of your builds, bar maybe 1 or 2 exceptions that are gunboats where you're normally shooting all the time, you take this. You absolutely take this. This is a free 10% reduction in your concealment. All your enemies will be taking this. All your friends will be taking this. This is unbelievably important in DD. Don't want the increase in air detection because that 0.2, 0.3 kilometers is very important to avoid, and you don't want to get outspotted and then destroyed.
The last one, though, I think is pretty good for gunboats.
The last one actually has, so you're thinking gunboats, and I'm thinking torp boats in some respects. This skill has the potential, in my opinion, to be one of the most annoying things that any cruiser or battleship player will run into in the new commander rework when it comes to surface ships. This skill, while it's expensive, has the potential, if you're good about firing a few salvos in a DD engagement and then breaking contact and getting concealed, this is amazing. If you're using a smoke screen at times, or you want to take a few pot shots and then fade away, this is amazing. It's a really good skill that I think we'll have to see how it develops the coming months as to whether or not it's overpowered. But I think this is probably the skill out of all of these on the bottom row that has the most potential to shake things up a bit.